if you just got here, if you never read the 48 Laws of Power, these are the first 24 laws we went over. We went over last week. Okay. Law number 1: never outshine the master. Very, very important law. I'm with that shit. Law number 2: never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Law number 3: conceal your intentions. Law number 4: always say less than necessary. And black people, we got to do better with this one. Black people love talking about shit and saying shit and telling motherfuckers what we gonna do. Shut the fuck up. What's them lawyers that be talking about? If you get pulled over by the police, shut the fuck up. Y'all remember them? They did like a TikTok or some shit telling everybody just, yo, shut the fuck up. Black people love fucking talking. Law number 5: so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Law number 6: court attention at all cost. Law number 7: get others to do work for you, but always take the credit. Law 8: make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Law number 9: win through your actions, never through argument. Law number 10: infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Law number 11: learn to keep people dependent on you. Law number 12: use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Law number 13: when asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. Law number 14: pose as a friend, work as a spy. Law number 15: crush your enemy totally. Law number 16: use absence to increase respect and honor. Let's see. Law number 17: keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Law number 18: do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. Law number 19: know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. Law number 20: do not commit to anyone. Law number 21: play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. Law number 22: use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. Law number 23: concentrate your forces. And law number 24: play the perfect courier or courtier. All right. So those are the first 24 laws of power. Anybody have any questions about those as we move forward? I'll take that as a no. Great. All right, let's go ahead and get into the new joint. So remember, as we kind of go through the laws, so this is about wielding power, right? So I know a lot of people are like, well, these laws are, devious, they're savage, right? They're underhanded, but you got to understand, either it's going to happen to you, right? Either you're going to be a victim, or you can learn to recognize what's being done, right? You can use them as a sword, or you can use them as a shield. Like, how you use them is up to you. But the idea of not recognizing and not understanding them seems to me to be more dangerous than not knowing them. I mean, than knowing them. All right. So I would say to everybody, hey, at least learn what the fuck, how to read situations. Because that's what a lot of this is learning how to read situations. All right. Law number 25. Recreate yourself. Do not accept the roles that society foists on you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity, one that commands attention and never bores the audience. Be the master of your own image rather than letting others define you. Incorporate dramatic devices into your public gestures and actions. Your power will be enhanced and your character will seem larger than life. So, I remember hearing the story. Y'all remember, so a lot of y'all ain't old enough to remember like Outkast. So when Outkast first came out, um, like they was typical kind of Southern rappers, even though they was like the music was a little different, but they were like their image was typical, Southern down south shit, right? And then when they came back with ATLiens, and like they had completely flipped.
Andre wearing wigs and shit.
Yo, this nigga was on the video wearing football shoulder pads and some goat skin leggings. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, and niggas didn't know what to make of it. Like, nigga, the music was dope though. Don't get it twisted. The videos was off the chain. It was some whole different shit. And so I remember hearing Big Boy talk about, like, he was in an interview one time and somebody asked him like, hey, yo, like what prompted y'all like to just change up everything? Right? Y'all just came back totally different. And he said they was at George Clinton's house. And George Clinton had told him, he was like, never let them pigeonhole you. Right? Don't let them put you in the box where they create, who you are. They determine who you are. Like, keep moving around, change your image up, do different shit. Right? And I thought that shit was dope. I listened to it. I was like, I'm not mad at that. Because that's one of the things that society will do, right? So they'll determine who you are, and then they'll make you kind of fit into the box that they set for you. Like, people love to do that shit, right? Whenever you start deviating outside of the role that they set for you, right, they start trying to put you back up in that shit. And so it takes a lot of fucking will and strength to tell people to go fuck off, and that they can't define you and pigeonhole you to a certain image, right?
I
And
don't even I don't even
go
think
ahead.
it's an image. I don't think it's just an image. So like 2 years ago, dog, we had a work trip. Like one of my first work trips I told y'all about. Went on it. It was at the beach. Had my bosses. I'm talking like big wigs, getting me drunk and shit. And we were just talking. And one of the big wigs is a black dude. And long story short, they discriminated against him way back for a job that he was overqualified for, and did the whole buddy buddy system. Right? Hold on, I'm about to switch the. Gave somebody else a job. Was going to threaten to sue them until he got the job because they realized they was going to get fucked up. So flash forward about 5 years, I come in. Right? I get this job, and somebody not really passed away. That somebody passed away, and because of it, somebody else decided to retire. Now the guy that decided to retire was the black dude's boss, John. His name is John. Was his boss. So naturally, there's only the way the system is here. There's only three people that could have realistically applied for that job and gotten it. All right. So same thing happened again, except for this time he didn't say anything. He didn't even threaten to sue. He just went about doing his job normally. All right. The dude that actually got the job wasn't one of those three people. Ended up fucking everything up. They ended up having to come back to him and giving him the job with extra perks and extra pay because they fucked up the first time and knew it. And he told us this story while we were sitting down buying us drinks to let us know the same shit. Don't let man nigga pigeonhole you or put you in a box, not only from what you appear to be, but what you can fucking do. Because niggas will take the same thing in terms of ability right? And equate that to image, or vice versa, how you're talking about image, and equate that to what you can do. So I think in a broader sense, it doesn't just have to be the image, you know?
No, 100% bro. 100%. So it doesn't just have to be the image. It can be, so it's behavior, right? How you speak, right? What you do, right? So the world is always trying to create like boxes for people, right? And then, um, and dare you to kind of leave up out of it. Get me? Like it takes a lot to get up out of that shit, right? Because once you start rebelling against like where they put you, um, then you make them uncomfortable, right? When you start doing things that people outside of the box that they've put you in, you make like they get uncomfortable, right? And so when they get uncomfortable, they try to make it seem like it's your fault, right?
A really good movie or a great representation of this, and I know Linnell didn't like the movie, but whatever. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is a great example of this because you're breaking the patterns of what you normally do in order to dig into your subconscious bag to pull out the gifts that are always at your disposal. But in order to do that, you have to break the common patterns that you do every day. So, yeah.
And you would bring that trash ass movie
And
up.
you would not be able to see the genius involved with this said film. But, here we go.
Uh, all right, you know what? I think on right there, we'll move on to the next law. These niggas was sword fighting with dildos, bro. For it, never mind. You know what? I'm gonna keep moving. All right,
See how you remembered it? See how it stuck into your brain right there? They broke the subconscious in your model.
It's
bro,
funny because I was thinking about that scene too.
bro, that shit was ass.
It was about ass. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
Have any of y'all tree been to a WNBA game lately? Just asking for
Man,
a
I
friend.
was coming. I was coming.
Hey yo. All right, let's see what we got. Law number 26. No, all right. Law number 26. Keep your hands clean. You must seem a paragon of civility and efficiency. Your hands are never soiled by mistakes and nasty deeds. Maintain such a spotless appearance by using others as scapegoats or cat's paws to disguise your involvement. Second time we heard cat's paws today. Part one, conceal your mistakes, have a scapegoat around to take the blame. And part number two, make use of cat's paws, someone who does the dirty work for you, right? And so we see this shit all the time in like politics. So uh, whenever a politician does something, right, it's never their mistake. It's always somebody in the office did it, right? Somebody's getting fired. So they always pretend like, oh, it wasn't never the top person. It was, somebody up underneath the top person. They call it, it's got to fall on his sword, right? And then we talk about cat's paws. Hey, the first thing that came to my mind when they was talking about use the cat's paw, somebody do the dirty work for you, was the Clinton kill list, right? Like anytime you talk against the Clintons, they got somebody coming to see you, right? And so, but you like we see both of these all the time, right? People get scapegoated all the time, right? They find somebody else to take the blame for something that somebody did. But that's part of power because that way your reputation doesn't get sullied. So that's one of the things that's coming out with Puff, right? Is that he used a lot of people to do things for him, right? But now it's coming out that no, he was involved. So now he isn't clean anymore. And that's part of the problem. So people are looking at him like, oh no, you're not squeaky clean dance rap guy, love song guy. You're actually a freak, a moral degenerate, and a criminal. You know what I mean? Um, and so once they can connect you to actually doing the bad thing yourself, it makes it easier to take you down.
This
And
sounds like it's
so,
built off the last one with the image. Like once they,
mhm,
like literally, once you pop out of their box, you cause a problem.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Once you and so, somebody's gonna say something. No.
No,
So
I
it
was
kind
gonna
of goes.
say it again. Like all these are again situational. They don't. Some of them overlap, and then some of them counter each other. And to me, the pushback that I give, like we talk about transparency in other spaces, right? Because you could do that, and it's not operating with clean hands. It's operating with I don't know, dirty gloves. Your hands are clean, but your gloves is mad dirty. And so the counter to that, what I would say, not counter, but in addition to that, is keep the receipts. Because if you're doing the foul stuff, but you want to come across clean, you better have the receipts. Because if you don't have the receipts and somebody else does, this law gets blown out the water, and then you're looking like a dummy because they show you on camera stealing the boxes on your day off. And it's just like, what are you gonna say to that? I don't know. I had the day off. It's like, nah, get the tape. Make sure the tape don't see the light of day. But if you don't, then you ain't gonna have very clean hands. You got dirty gloves.
No, that's facts. All right, let me see. Let's see. What's this? Oh, law number 27. All right. Uh, play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. People have an overwhelming. What'd you say, bro?
Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
Okay. I'm not mad at
All
that.
politicians in general. I'm just, he's most recent. Like, keep going, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
People
brother.
people have an overwhelming desire to believe in something, or even hope and change. Become the focal point of such a desire by offering them a cause like hope, a new faith to follow like change. Keep your words vague but full of promise. Emphasize enthusiasm over rationality and clear thinking. So emphasize enthusiasm over rationality and clear thinking. Give your new disciples rituals to perform. Ask them to make sacrifices on your behalf. In the absence of organized religion and grand causes, your new belief your new belief system will bring you to untold power. And so you're right. Like the MAGA movement is definitely um part of that. Like that perfectly describes the MAGA movement. Also perfectly describes Obama's movement, right? Like that shit was like it was both of them are they're really really similar.
I'm gonna
Except for
say,
you
I
know
think
what? Huh?
I feel like Obama's was more impactful, but we ain't got to go there.
So this the thing, bro. When you actually look at Trump, he was really specific, right, about what he was going to do. Right? He told you exactly what he was going to do. And he's oddly enough he doing that shit. Obama never told you what he was going to do. It was a lot of fluffy language. So the part when they're like, yo, um, let's say yeah, keep your words vague but full of promise. That was more him, right? So you never give people nothing. And not only Obama, but it's how they've been dealing with black people, like the Democratic Party, how they've been dealing with black people since the 70s. They never ever make any promises to black people. It's always vagaries. Always
Isn't that why
vagaries.
isn't that the reason why hope is so dangerous? Like I know
It
X don't like
is.
using the word, but that's kind of the point because it's so vague. It's not really something substantial. It's very
100%.
floaty woaty.
Hey, to that, wasn't Obama's whole thing hope? Just to
Yes,
say it.
hope.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was his whole thing. Posters and everything. Hope, right? And he talked in mad vagaries,
And he was definitely
right?
controlling his image with rule number 25. Like it definitely fits. Now with rule 26, and then making sure you have clean hands. Now we see how that didn't pan out right, because if I go check the receipts, it's like, oh, you was part of the Russian collusion, supposedly.
Oh yeah, no. His whole image is being torn down. So what you say? Rule number 25. He recreated himself 100%. So they even brought in like people to teach him how to act. Like his whole persona is an act that he learned. Right. The clean hands principle. Yeah, that shit. It might be over with for that one. Right. They're showing he was definitely involved. He was definitely involved. What you say, Joe Baba? The Nazis had hope that they would discover the root race. I don't know, bro. I don't know if you ever listen to Hitler's speeches, bro. I don't know. You ever listen to his
Hey,
speeches?
since we here, you seen that goddamn American Eagle commercial shit with Sydney Sweeney Linnell?
I saw people talking about it. I didn't really look at it because it looked like some dumb shit to me.
Man, you should have watched that shit. Go watch it. We can talk about it Friday.
Yeah, we'll talk about it Friday. That's fine. What you say, Invisible? Did they teach him how to cover, how to be a covert gay? Yeah, they did actually. Remember, Hillary said in the email, I thought we agreed to keep these activities away from the White House. They definitely taught him how to keep that shit low. So yeah, that's number 27. But we see that a lot though. You see it a lot with church pastors, right? It's so this one is baked into religion, right? This one is baked into religion. I mean, dude, y'all know, real quick, going back to what's it, keep your hands clean. So y'all know another way that people what something else people scapegoat to where they do it, but it's they backdoor it whenever somebody get caught doing something and then they go to rehab. So they're not scapegoating another person, but they're scapegoating another thing. So it's like, oh no, it wasn't me, it was the drugs, right? It wasn't me, it was my addiction. My addiction is not me. And once I go to rehab, the addiction is gone, but I'm still here. And so I'm still clean, right? And
Are you
so
saying the rehab center is like a societal box?
I'm saying that the scapegoat for a lot of people is how they other their actions and call it addiction. They're like, oh no, that wasn't me.
It's
That
a
was
way to
the
wash the
addiction.
gloves off.
Right, exactly. They take the gloves off. Like here, those gloves are the gloves did it. It wasn't me. Right? Look, my hands are clean. Right? All that was the gloves. And because I went to rehab, I am now great.
Dust
Right?
your meth off and try again.
Promise you.
Could that
You
also be
also
like a
find
result
that.
of Sheen?
Huh?
No, go ahead, Ethan.
No, I was gonna say real quick. You also see that with trauma. People will use or utilize trauma as a way of scapegoating their responsibility, and they'll throw the trauma out.
Oh yeah.
They won't deal with the trauma, but they'll throw it out. No shade to anybody that does that. I mean, get your bag how you get your bag, but you're not dealing with the actual trauma. You're just using it as a covering. You know full well you gotta deal with it even when you take the covering off.
Bruh. Um, all right.
Low
Uh,
key though, once a crackhead, always a crackhead though.
hey man, I don't know about that. We're gonna see. Let's see. Law number 28. So if you just got here, guys, we are going over the 48 laws of power. So we did the first 24 last week. So we starting at 25 and we keeping it cracking today. Law number 28 is interactions with boldness. If you are unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitations will infect your execution. Timidity is dangerous. Better to enter with boldness. Any mistakes you commit through audacity are easily corrected with more audacity. Everyone admires bold. No one honors the timid.
Hey, me and Mark was having a conversation earlier today about Trump. What do you say, Mark? And nigga said if he on the Epstein list, somebody forged his name, put that shit on there. I said that's the arrogance. You know what I'm saying? Like what that said, the boldness. Like shit, either I'ma die trying, goddamn, or I'ma die frying, goddamn. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, that's 100% true, right? People respect bold, right? Even if they don't agree, they respect it, right? If you do something, yo, do that shit. Don't pussyfoot around. If you're gonna do it, do it.
This shit
Right?
makes me think of sports so hard, bro. Like, like, you ever watch like pro athletes practice? They be doing some crazy shit in practice, right? I think the major difference is, right, the superstars that we see are the ones that are bold enough to take the crazy shit they do in practice and apply it in game time. Like some of the stuff obviously, you know, is off the top of their head game time situation, but it had to come from somewhere. That, yeah, I just want to say that it really just makes me think about pro athletes across the board. Like they're all bold as shit. Like I can pick out a specific position for you. Wide receivers, the divas of the NFL. These niggas are bold as shit when it comes to Stephon Diggs might be a good example. They're just bold with the way they do everything.
Yeah, so again, that's boldness garners respect, right? When you pussyfoot around, um, even if you're doing the right thing, people, you don't have the same, you're not viewed the same,
Hey,
right?
Mark, talking sports, I give you a better one than the receivers. Brett Favre, the gunslinger.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when he taking money from people? Is that still bonus or
Nah, he's
what?
just a fuck nigga. But I'm talking about just the boldness to just throw that bitch up there. If my receiver get it, my receiver get it.
Hey, on some wild shit, to your question, X, it sounds like Brett Favre is a current example of the one we're on, but he broke the clean glove shit or the dirty glove or hiding your glove shit because he obviously got caught stealing money, and then he clearly broke out that box that we had him in. Now people look at Brett Favre and be like, criminal, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, don't forget sending pictures of his Peter Wacker.
And I think we all knew that was happening. He was sexting somebody. God damn it.
Well, goddamn.
But she ain't want it though.
Yeah, no, that's the fucked up part. Let's see where we at. Which said Quan Fortune favors the bold. Very, very true. Let's see. Law number 29. And so you know what? This one I don't think is respected enough. Right? Law 29 is plan all the way to the end. The ending is everything. Plan all the way to it, taking into account all the possible consequences, obstacles, and twists of fortune that might reverse your hard work and give the glory to others. By planning to the end, you will not be overwhelmed by circumstances and you will know when to stop. Gently guide fortune and help determine the future by thinking far ahead. More like people do not plan to the end. So they'll so People would definitely enter actions with boldness, but they have no idea how they're gonna get out the situation or how it's gonna resolve. Like they don't see that far ahead, right?
I feel like we kind of talked about that, dog. Like how most people don't. If you were to ask most people, what are you trying to do in the next 5 years? Most people don't know.
Or you know what? Somebody the worst thing is they'll have an idea like, yeah, I wanna do this. But then when you ask, all right, well, what are the steps that are gonna get you there? And what are the pitfalls that come along with each of those steps? And how are you going to account for each pitfall that you encounter that's possible, right? As you head to the place that you say you're going, like they haven't even thought about that. They're like, well, that's a lot. No shit.
But
That's
that's
why
what
you
it
have to think,
takes.
huh?
I said that's what it takes, though.
That's what it fucking takes.
So how does this align with what I was saying earlier before you said we'd cross that bridge when we get there?
What with my son dealing with what's going on with his grandma?
Yeah.
So I already know what he's going to do, right? So he's a kid. Kids take care of like the way he's he's sensitive, but he's still an Aquarius, and so he'll other that thing, right? And so he can also be a worry wart. And so what you don't want to do is create. You don't want him to get in the habit of worrying about things, and so he's got to process that on the spot. And so with him, it's more about teaching him how to process things in a moment. And so I don't want a fucking a strong lead up and a walk to, this is how you feel. No, we don't need all that. What I want to train him to do is to be able to process his emotions in the moment and work his way through it.
So would you say that's where quote unquote our people's got themselves in trouble, that they stopped creating wills as they were living because they stopped thinking and planning ahead?
100%.
Yep.
That's why we don't
So
have Granny's house no more, bro.
you know what? It's even worse than that, right? Because a lot of people have wills, but wills don't keep you out of the
That
bullshit,
part.
right? I was talking to my mom about this not too long ago. I mean, because she got a will, but a will, your shit still got to go to probate court. You know what I'm saying? People still can take that shit. And so it's not just, oh, I got a will and I'm done. They didn't think about, yo, what else comes with that? Are there other options that I can fucking engage in where I don't have to my family doesn't have to have the money taken away, or they ain't got to wait fucking 6 months for it to go through the court system before they get access to it. Like there's way more thinking that comes along with this shit. It's not just, well, I got a goal and I'm just going to go. Everybody does that. Everybody says what they want and then they just start going. I find very, very few people that actually sit and think their way through it. Think through. Y'all ever see that movie Out of Time, like with Nicolas Cage? I think it was Out of Time. Was it Out of Time? What was this shit with Nicolas Cage?
Out of Time was
That's
Justin
Denzel,
Timberlake,
right?
Ray.
No, what was the one with Nicolas Cage when he could see 2 minutes into the future?
Mm.
I can't remember the name, bro.
Was
Oh,
it
But I know.
in time?
is
No,
it In
it's
The
not.
Time?
nick of time. Nick of time.
Nick of Time.
Nick of time.
Yeah, 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 dude. So that's how everybody should be thinking. Like, if you ain't never seen that movie, see that shit. So Nicolas Cage could see 2 minutes into the future, so he knew everything that was going to happen for 2 minutes, and so he could run different scenarios for the next 2 minutes. Oh, it's called Next. Good job, Mark. I fucks with you. It was called Next. That's what it was called, right? And so he could see all the like he would run all these different scenarios of what was going to happen for 2 minutes, right? And that's the type of shit. Like if you look and how it played out visually on the screen, is the type of shit that people got to be doing. That's the type of shit that you got to be doing. And I know that like I can tell when somebody doesn't do it. You know the biggest indicator that people don't do it is they're surprised. When
Don't
you're
do what? Think?
that they don't run through the scenarios. They don't think from beginning to end, right? They don't evaluate all the options that could happen. Because I see too many people surprised by what's going on or taken off guard because they haven't thought it through. Right? And so it take like you gotta practice this shit. This ain't some shit you just start doing tomorrow. You
I
gotta
feel like
literally practice it. Hmm?
that's one of the, to go back to the box thing, right? I feel like, so in everything you're saying, right? I feel like that's not necessarily part of the box that they give us. And like by this example, I mean like I don't think it's part of the education or programming system that they give us. You get what I'm saying? Like our box. I think it requires you, quote unquote, to break out of that box to really start thinking like the shit we do. Like we're going, hey, this might happen down the line, boom. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they clearly don't want that.
So so this kind of goes with like being a critical thinker, right? Um it ain't easy. And it requires like practice. It requires you to engage in critical thinking like on the regular. And so you got to practice this shit. It's a muscle, right? Being able to kind of think through scenarios is a muscle, and you got to practice the shit, right? Lee said play chess. Chess is a great practice because you got to see many moves ahead. I don't like the so I know I got homies that play chess. I don't like time chess, right? Because it doesn't allow you to kind of to practice because you got to hurry up and do it. And so that's something you do like when you get really really good, right? Um, but like just the concept of how chess is played, right? Is you have to before you do anything, you got to know how this shit's gonna end.
And if you move, you have to move.
If you move, you got to move with purpose,
Do you do
right?
you
And
think there are
Yeah,
so
any
so
prerequisites to critical thinking? Like, do you think there? Because I was thinking before that. Do you think that introverts are more better at critical thinking than like extroverts? Like, do you think personality plays a part in that?
good question. I'm not.
man,
What you say?
I was gonna say it's only half the puzzle. It's half the piece. So it's like real. Yeah, Lena, I'll let you go, but in a second. Um, it's half of it, right? So it's like, yeah, if you got all the plans, I got the master plan. I know every scenario is gonna turn out. I know everything is gonna be this, and I know exactly how it's gonna end. Game of Thrones. They knew exactly how it ends. It was jumped up. I don't know who's listening right now, but it is jumped up in that process. So it requires confidence, going back to the other law about the boldness, right? In order for it to work. Because what do they say? Make a plan and God laughs. Like, that's a real thing. Because you can have everything planned out to the T. And this is a Virgo speaking, so I know what that feels like. And something can come right out of left field, and you may thought you had every scenario planned, but there's something that always comes about and throws it off. So that's where the confidence comes through to adjust and move with the flow. The great thing about the 48 laws of power is, again, in a Western mindset, solely surviving in that particular environment, it is bar none the best way of doing things. But if you go into life thinking it's just the West, you're going to get fudged up with maple sprinkles if you think that's the only way. It has to have a counter in order to observe the other part of the picture. It's not all masculine, it's not all feminine. It's a mixture of two. and it's situational. So learning to adjust along with the plan is going to be paramount than just relying on the plan. So I agree with what everybody's been saying, but I would add only that you may want to consider being able to adjust because it's not always flat black and white. It's a mad amount of gray.
100%. It's a. I think it's a lot of factors that go into it. You know what? I think one of the main factors is opportunity, right? If you're not presented with the opportunity to learn how to think through things, then you won't do it. Like if you're put in an environment where people just act without thinking, or if you're put in a situation where you just learn how to act without thinking, or you're not given an opportunity to kind of to run the scenario, or where you have to run a scenario, then you won't do it, right? And it's a lot of factors that go into it.
I think that's one of them things that has to be more of a. It's not one of those one-offs that you could get into that mindset. That's one of those. That's a periodic thing that has to happen, or it has to occur multiple times throughout life for you to even catch on to that shit.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle, right? And so it's kind of like what I said about critical thinking. It's a lifestyle. Like you don't just critical think sometime, right? So if you're a thinker, like you're gonna think about everything. You're gonna critically think about everything. You're gonna question everything. It's not well, I'm just gonna question this, I'm not gonna question that. It's what you do. And so we're talking about somebody that kind of that plays it through to the end, is what you do in everything, right? Like before I get up to go get something to drink, I'll think about everything, like all the steps in between. What could happen? What I'm gonna do if that thing happens? How I'm gonna respond to it? How I'm gonna feel about it? Like you run through the whole thing, and then when you do it, you just kind of remembering what you already kind of went through, and so nothing surprises you. Like I said, that movie Next was dope, right? Like when I saw it, I was like, I intentionally started doing that thing, right? I try to run that shit through in my mind. Like I used to live like that. Like, all right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. What could possibly happen? This, that, and other. Okay, what if they say this? Then I'll say that. Then, like that's a lifestyle, and like it can be tiring though. Like you got to like having to force your brain to do it can be tiring, and constantly thinking is tiring. Right? Sometimes you go to sleep and you ain't like physically you ain't did too much, but your brain has been fucking going for a minute.
Well, then doesn't that remove any form of spontaneity in your life at all? Like
Hey, you know what,
you're
Val?
having to kind of, yeah.
So to that, I will tell you, um, the sine wave gets more shallow, right? So if you think about how life goes, it's like these big swings up, these big swings down, right? When you start when you start thinking it through and planning it through and kind of anticipating everything, like your emotional swings, they become more shallow. So yes, you're 100% correct. Way more shallow.
And I was gonna say that's where muscle memory comes in, like with the tiredness. I feel like muscle memory helps with that,
Yeah.
and the idea of ending how you start. Like if you start something strong and you got like a plan, you got like habits that you stick to, and then over time, if you get tired, it's like, well, you remember, I'm gonna finish this how I started it. So it's easy to get back into those like routines that you already implemented when you started doing the thing.
They promote you to change up your environment so you don't burn yourself out. So if you constantly overwork, if you constantly work in the same muscle, you will have burnout. So that creates predictability. So that's why most coaches essentially they're putting you through the same workout, but you may be running sprints one day and then you're running hills. You're running at probably the same amount, but your body is going through different processes. So yeah, when you do the same thing over and over, it doesn't breed you success in the form of your body coping to different things because it's not used to it.
All right. Law number 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. Your actions must seem natural and executed with ease. All the toil and practice that go into them, all the clever tricks must be concealed. When you act, act effortlessly as if you could do much more. Avoid the temptation of revealing how hard you work. It it only raises questions. Teach no one your tricks, or they will or they will be used against you. All right. And so this is one of them things where most people think the opposite. They think that if they tell everybody how hard they work at something, then people will be in awe of that shit. Right? That's not it. It's the other way around. Right? Um, People are in awe if you do it and they don't think you worked at it.
Ain't no thing.
Exactly. Exactly. When you look like you're working hard to accomplish something, that doesn't you don't seem powerful, right? There's no mystery about that, right? It's work hard at it, but don't tell nobody you worked hard at it. Just let them see the fruits of it, and then make it seem like, oh no, it's natural, right? Nah, it's just what it is. Don't worry about it, right? And so again, that goes contrary to a lot of people's personality and behavior. They think, yo, if everybody knows how hard I worked, I'm out here sweating and I done put in all these hours and all this other shit. All right. Nope. It makes you seem ordinary. All right. So the more effortlessly it looks like you accomplish things, the more powerful you appear. Um Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. The best deceptions are the ones that seem to give the other person a choice. Your victims feel they are in control, but are actually your puppets. People give people options that come out in your favor, whichever one they choose. Force them to make choices between the lesser of two evils, both of which serve your purpose. Put them put them on the horns of a dilemma. They are gored wherever they turn. The the most obvious um example of this to me has been the past fucking 40 years elections, right? People have been saying, man, the Republican Party, Democratic Party, they both fucked up because they're both selected from the deep state, right? We see that all the time. Um, but it's a tactic. So people think when people think they have a choice, they're much happier, right? When people think that they chose it, overall they're much happier. This we ain't even getting into we ain't gonna get into kind of dictatorships, how they're the happiest when they don't have a choice, but that's different. So um what you want to do is you want to construct um a scenario where every outcome favors you. And we see it a lot. You see it a lot, right? Like I give the example I always use is, yo, if I'm asking you to kind of play some music, like we in the car and you like, yo, you want to pick the music, and I give you my iPod and say, hey, you can pick whatever you want, right? You like we driving or whatever, and you happy as shit because you feel like you picked the music, when in fact I gave you my iPod to play music from. I picked the music. I made it seem like you're picking it, right?
Uh, are we
So
are we just choosing the music that you uploaded on the iPod, or is this
yes,
something that we can just
yep, nope.
browse?
Just
To
music I look at.
alongside of that.
All right. And so that's what it is, right? So that way, um, you never have to worry about a curveball. If you control the options, you never have to worry about a curveball. All right. Just like when I asked my son, "Hey man, what you want? You want a hamburger? You want pizza?" I got both of them up in here, right? I don't tell him like, "Hey man, I got both of them up in here." Both of them are really, really quick to get to, so he can't. Like, I didn't give him the option of some shit that I don't want to do. I mean, so control the options and get others to play with the cards you deal. And conversely, recognize when other people are limiting your options, right? When they're trying to pretend like, oh no, you got all the options in the world, but really they limited them shits, right? So be mindful when people are limiting your options. Let's see. Law number 32. Play to people's fantasies. The truth is often avoided because it is ugly and unpleasant. Never appeal to truth and reality unless you are prepared for the anger that comes from disenchantment. Life is so harsh and distressing that people who can manufacture romance or conjure up fantasy are like oases in the desert. Everyone flocks to them. There is great power in tapping into fantasies of the masses. Now, you want to talk about politicians? That's another one of their things, right? Another one of their fucking things. It's also what you get from like girls or guys that are trying to date you, right? Motherfuckers be out here selling dreams. Motherfuckers be out here selling dreams. Know what I mean? That's where all that romantic shit come from. You're selling a
Mirage.
dream.
Got
Huh?
Mirage for sale.
Yeah, you're selling dreams, selling fictions and fantasies. All right. A lot of religion, pastors and preachers, selling heaven, literally selling heaven,
They used to sell tickets.
selling heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where when you start, like, when you're in advertising, like if you look at advertising, that's what advertising is. It's not selling reality, it's selling people fantasies and romance, right? Beer commercials, furniture commercials, all of them shits are selling romance and fantasies. Like, hey, if you buy this, then your life turns into a fucking vacation. You put this in your house, it's like being at the beach. You put this in your house, oh my God, it's like you have a harem. That's all advertising, right? Churches, people trying to date you, advertise, like it's everywhere. Playing to people's fantasies is everywhere. All right, so that's law 32. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, we all good so far. Everybody good? No questions. If you just got here, what's going on? Welcome, guys. This is the 48 Laws of Power book review, part 2. We did part 1 on last week, last Wednesday. So this is part 2. We started at law 25, and we're just kind of going through them, talking about uh, talking about the laws, where we see them, how they play out, and more importantly, how important it is to be able to recognize what's going on. All right. What we at? Number 33. Discover each man's thumb screw. Everyone has a weakness, a gap in the castle wall. That weakness is usually an insecurity, an uncontrollable emotion or need. It can also be a small secret pleasure. Either way, Once found, it is a thumbscrew. You can turn it to your advantage. Yo, Epstein, anyone? Pizzagate, anyone? Right? Diddy's tapes, anyone? Because that's all they were doing. They were finding, all right, what's your vice? Once they find somebody's vice, they give it to them, they feed it, and they record it. And then now that you're getting what you want, now you're going to give me what I want. There's an entire country that was created based off of law number 33. The entire country functions based off of law number 33. Discover each man's weakness. Everybody has one, find it. So that weakness is usually an insecurity or uncontrollable emotion or need. Right?
Wait a
Emotional
minute, you said one
insecurity.
country?
Bruh. It's a
I thought you were
country
talking about
over
Love
in,
Island or something.
huh?
Or no? Love Island? No?
No, not Love Island.
Ethan, don't
Oh,
tell
my
me you
bad.
watch that shit.
I just be watching the highlights, Marty.
You don't go outside and change some spark plugs, nigga.
Hey man, I work 2 jobs. That's enough spark plugs for me and my family.
Hey, bro. Let me get Ethan up here watching Love Island. That's wild.
I also violated that last 3 laws back there, so my bad.
Which one?
The
Oh,
one
talking
talking
about
about
how
how
hard you
hard I
work?
work.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I heard it. As soon as you said it, I was like, violation.
Yeah,
That's what
violation. That's a big ego violation.
uh-huh. Violation. I just heard it. I'm like, oh, Ethan just violated. Tell me how hard he worked. No, I give a fuck about that shit, nigga. Violation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there you go. Where was we at? So, and so, yo, this goes for even people that you talk to, like regular people. Everybody's got a thing, and so remember when I say, so it says, yo, discover each man's thumb screw, but and so you can use that to kind of to manipulate them. Yo, the another reason you might want to know what each person's thumb screw is because one, it could be used. You want to know what yours is, so you got to know what your thumb screw is, and how people might be using that to manipulate you. Like I said, these things they can be used as a sword or a shield. You need to know if somebody has figured out what your weakness is, and you're being manipulated with it. All right, or the people around you. You need to know what their weaknesses are so you can see if somebody's using it against, so if they can use them against you. Right? So that's very, very important. All right, where we at? Law number 34. Be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. The way you carry yourself will often determine how you are treated. In the long run, appearing vulgar or common will make people disrespect you. For a king respects himself and inspires the same sentiment in others. By acting regally and confident of your powers, you make yourself seem destined to wear a crown. So this kind of reminds me of which one was it? It was from last week. Um where is it at? Um, not that one. Where is it at? What's it at? Oh, court attention at all costs. And yo, no, law number 5. So much depends on reputation guarded with your life. So that's number 5, right? So that one and this one are kind of similar to me, right? So pretty much, it's how you carry yourself, right? If you carry yourself like a common person, people will treat you like a common person, right? And so, you got to have respect for yourself. And so this is where self-image comes in. Remember, we talked about self-image a lot, right? And so if your self-image is low, right, and that's how you behave or how you present, then that's how you'll be treated. And so when you change your self-image, you change how you present yourself, it'll change how you're received. Same thing. All right. Let's see. That was number 34. All right. Number 35, law 35. Master the art of timing. Never seem to be in a hurry. Hurrying betrays a lack of control over yourself and over time. Always seem patient, as if you know everything will come to you eventually. Become a detective of the right moment. Sniff out the spirit of times, the trends that will carry you to power. Learn to stand back when the time is not ripe yet, and to strike fiercely when it has reached fruition. So, like, these last two go together, right? The thing about where is it at? Number 30, make your accomplishments seem effortless, and play it all the way to the end. Like that's all part of this one, right? So remember, the worst two times to make a decision is when you're scared or in a hurry. That's why people manipulate time, right?
Or
So,
hungry. You be taking your ass to the grocery store buying a whole bunch of shit that you don't even need.
right. So the reason that people manipulate time. So think about every movie you watch, like action movies and shit. The way that they control you and how you view the situation, how you view the movie, is by adding a clock to it, right? So the movie is humming along nice and chill, and then all of a sudden a time component is added. And so now everything has to be sped up. And the way that you view the scenario changes, right? That's a form of manipulation. And so by changing up how people view time, you can change how they behave. And if you let somebody manipulate time on you, then you'll seem less powerful, right? When you hurry, when you're in a rush, you seem less powerful, less in control. Because if you're in control, you wouldn't be in a rush, right? If you were in control, you wouldn't be in a rush. And because you're in a rush, you're scurrying. It means you're not in control, right? Um, what says always seem patient, as if you know everything will come to you eventually. That's see it through to the end. When everybody else is losing their shit, you have to be the one in control of yourself, right? And when you demonstrate enough power, when you exude enough fucking confidence and power, that shit becomes infectious. And so because you're not rushing, everybody else not going to rush, right?
Man, these last couple have been pretty good.
Hey, bro, that's because they hit home, G. They're important. They're important.
The one you just explained just now, I had a scenario play out like that today, and it happens pretty often. And it's funny how that worked out to where it's like you think that if you're rushing or trying to get something done, how you think you might have the control, where it's like sometimes you just let it figure itself out and have faith in that.
Hey yo, hey yo. Sometimes, um, doing nothing is the best course of action because it allows you to kind of read the situation, right? So there's a difference between motion and action, right? A lot of times I see a lot of motion. I see a lot of people in motion, but they're not taking any action. And action gets you further to the goal. Motion can be in any fucking direction, right? And so you want to get in the habit of taking actions and not just being in motion.
Would a better word be intent? Like having an intent
Action, right?
for like a
Actions
desired
have intent.
outcome.
Yeah, actions have intent, right? When you take an action, that's something you do with an intent to do something else to achieve a goal. Motion is just moving, and most of the time, I see a lot of fucking motion, right? And action is something that you've thought through. Motion is just something you're doing so it looks like you're doing something. And a lot of people will confuse motion for action. A lot of people confuse motion for action. But people who know better, you're not fooling them. You're not fooling them at all. And so if you want to be authentic, learn to take action, not just fucking be in motion. All right.
Wait a minute. Authentic or efficient?
Both, right? Because if I see somebody just in motion, well, of course you're inefficient, but you're doing it because you're trying to fool me and you don't know what the fuck is going on. You don't know what you're doing. Or you're trying to fool me, right? I can't be fooled. I know the difference between motion and action. You know what I mean?
If you're relying on other people to do the work so you can take the credit, are you authentic?
You definitely can be.
You're authentically manipulating somebody
Um,
then.
this the thing. It's not always fucking manipulation. Sometimes that's your job. As a manager, your job is to manage people.
Bro, you mean to tell me this whole damn book ain't about manipulation? Come on now. Come
Um,
on now.
is it about
This
manipulation? Okay. You know
so
what?
so
I got
the
no
the
problem with it.
connotation of manipulation
Huh?
seems very negative, right? It does. I get that part.
Yeah.
But when I read this book or when I'm listening to the laws, we listed a whole bunch of things, and X kind of alluded to it earlier. It's parenting. All this is essentially parenting, and I'm a parent too, and I be out here manipulating because I'm trying to make sure that I want my son to be the best that he can be. Now, there's things out of my control, and I think once you recognize that, then it's just like I gave you all I could give. Now it's really on you. I can't really manipulate you anymore. But there are other parents that want to walk it all the way down until they walk that stage and get that, in the NFL draft or something. So I say all that to say like this is purely manipulation, and it's not a bad thing. It's not what I would frame it as, but it is manipulation.
Um, let me see. It's pure manipulation. I probably disagree with that statement. Um, do I believe that this book is can be used for manipulation? Yes, 100%. I won't argue with that. Um, is the book about manipulation? I don't think so. So remember last week when
It
we
is
when we
about
first
manipulation.
started, huh?
It
So
is about manipulation because, like Ethan said, manipulation don't have to have a negative context to it. Them little cubes that you used in math class as we was kids, those were called manipulatives. You was moving something to get a certain outcome. That don't have to be
Uh-huh.
for negative.
Okay. I get it. Is it about? Let me see. So let me finish what I'm saying. So it's about power, right? We talked about this when I introed the book last week, right? And so power comes in multiple forms, right? So you have personal power and you have socialized power, right? Um, and so personalized power has stages to it, right? And so you got dependent power, independent power, and what's the third one? Um,
Did
oh
you
no,
say
it's
social power already?
so the dependent power and independent power are those are forms of personalized power. Socialized power um, has you have personalized and then that also has two stages to it, right? And so the book is about power. Yeah, interdependent. There you go. Interdependent power. Yeah, there you go. I know I couldn't think of the third. So it's is personal, independent, and interdependent. That's true. Um, and so the book is about power. How you use it is up to you. But there are ways to use power that you wouldn't consider like that don't necessarily qualify as manipulative, right? But it's wielding power.
Give me an example.
Um, so let me see. If I so if So remember, so power is about the ability to affect someone, right? Affect the outcome, right, of a situation, right? It's to
Manipulate,
influence people. What you say, Marty?
manipulate.
No, it's influence. So I can influence you without manipulating you. I can tell you the God's honest truth, right? And I influence you. It's not manipulating you.
But I feel like you only taking manipulation for the negative. Like one of these
No,
ones
no, no, I'm
is
not.
the
I
way you
understand
carry yourself,
manipulation.
right?
No,
One of these ones is the way you carry yourself, right? Not
Mhm.
saying that's negative, but that is a manipulation of the world around you.
Right. So again, I understand when people say, yo, this is a book about manipulation. I understand it. Do I think that? No. Because there are different forms of power and different ways to use it and different outcomes. And so I don't see it as a book just about manipulation, right? Just because power is it can be used in so many different ways, right? And I think it is disrespectful to the understanding of it to say, oh, it's just about manipulation. That's my thing, right? I think it's bigger than that.
So I don't disagree with what you're saying, right?
Mhm.
I don't disagree. The problem is people automatically have the inherent idea, to Marty's point, that manipulation is a negative concept because or a negative construct or whatever. It's negative. So when we talk about the power, like give me the definition of power, your definition of power, Linnell.
The ability to influence,
And influence means to do what?
um, to have an effect on people's thoughts or actions.
So you're the cause, and then there's an
Hmm.
effect, correct?
Hmm.
And so, therefore, it's just a natural flow of things.
Hmm.
So, if I walk into the store and I say hello to the merchant or the shopkeeper, and I smile, and then they smile back, am I manipulating them, or I'm just showing the power of my smile?
You just showing them your smile. That's not a manipulation.
So do I get more out of the person that I smile at than I frown at?
It just depends. It depends
And
on the
so,
person and how they see
but,
it.
but okay. So what I'm stating is, when we influence others around us, the only thing that
Mhm.
keeps screaming in my head is, it's like, I wish we could give this book to Jesus, and I wonder what he would do with it. Because it's like, is it influence? Is it manipulation? I'm not saying Jesus was being manipulative, but at the same time, he was exuding power and influence.
Uh-huh.
And maybe the Romans were thinking, "Oh, this dude is manipulating our people, so we gotta get him up out of here." So it's just a very interesting question. It just depends on how you frame manipulation, because I'm looking at manipulation as the ability to change things in your favor,
Hmm.
or in a way that works for you, and that could be deemed as manipulation,
Right.
manipulation of the
I agree.
environment, manipulation of the universe.
I agree.
So,
But so the thing is, what
I really,
I was gonna say, what if you influence a situation and it's not for you, right? It's for other people that has nothing to do with you.
But that's where I would say manipulation don't just have to be about you. We talking about a situation and the
I'm
way
talking
you
about
act.
based on what
I get
Ethan
it.
just said.
I get it. The way
Yeah.
you act in that situation, if you try to do something for other people and you're controlling the situation, you manipulate the situation to benefit others. It's the same shit.
it still benefits you though, and that's the crazy part about it.
Right.
It still
So
influences you.
right. So my point
You think you
is,
can other yourself out of the situation, and you cannot. That's the universal law. There is no separation in this situation that we're in this particular realm. That's my particular perspective, and I can easily be wrong about that. But everything I do, even if I do it for others, it's still for me in some way, shape, or form. It's not the conversation of altruism versus just being a good person. It's just a matter of universal law of cause and effect. Even if I do something, if I give Marty a bottle of water and he drinks it and he's okay for the day, he's hydrated and everything, there's still an effect that has something on me, because the memory of me having that experience has influence on everything that I do afterwards. There's no getting away from that, in my personal opinion.
yeah, I think y'all taking that the definition of manipulation. I think y'all stretching the fuck out that
I
goddamn shit.
don't.
God damn.
I got one more thing to say. Did you watch
Go
that
ahead.
documentary, The Black Godfather, The Godfather something? You remember the dude that put everybody in the certain positions and stuff so they could excel in their careers and shit like that? Well, so what Ethan just said, you can't remove yourself from the situation, right? Everybody respects him to the point they call him the Godfather, right? And then again to what Ethan
Who you talking
said,
about?
he
Clarence
has
Avon
knowledge.
in music?
I think so. I don't remember what the nigga name
Uh,
was. It was a Netflix documentary. But anyway, long story short, the nigga got the name Godfather, right? So everybody
mhm.
already has that respect for him. And in these situations, he wasn't doing that for gain for himself. You feel what I'm saying? But second thing Ethan said, through all of these things that he's done for other people so they can excel and stuff, manipulating things, putting people here, you meet this person, you meet that person, y'all do this together, right? He can draw on their knowledge, which is a gain for him, so he can keep doing that.
Yeah, I get you. I just think y'all take dude, y'all spreading the definition of manipulate real thin, my G, real thin,
Yo,
real
it's
Nigga,
a
fucking
science
thin,
what is
bro.
the
response, bro. You
Webster's
can't.
definition of manipulate? Read it for us, please.
Hold on, let me look it up. Wait, hold on.
Hey,
Uh,
I'm already ahead of you, bro. To handle or control, typically in a skillful manner. To control or influence a person or situation cleverly, unfairly, or unscrupulously. Which I think goes to the
right,
overall point that all we're doing is controlling or influencing a person or situation cleverly.
right. So again, again, power doesn't have to be clever though. It can just be
Now,
what
this
it
is manipulate.
is. Right, I know. But so when I say, yo, this is a book about power, not manipulation, right? It's manipulation is cleverly, unfairly, or unscrupulously.
But what does
Power doesn't
power
have to
do?
be
What does power do?
influence.
Power controls.
No, influence. The definition of power is the influence, right? Control can be part of power, but it doesn't have to be to control. Power can be to just to influence, right? So, but yeah.
Is the government influencing people, or do they have power over 'em?
Um, so
They have an influential power.
they have the appearance of power.
Manipulate and influence are often used interchangeably.
They are, but they don't necessarily mean the same thing.
Because there's levels to this shit.
That's facts. That's facts. Um. All right. It's good conversation, guys. I wasn't mad at it. Let me see. Where's my list? Here it goes.
A quick side note, it's actually saying so influence is a neutral term describing the capacity to have an effect, whereas manipulation is a negative term implying the use of deceptive or underhanded tactics to control others for one's own benefit. I guess it is just kind of like a spectrum.
Yeah.
So don't these laws, the second part about, never mind.
Nah, bro, go ahead.
Nah, cause I don't remember them. Basically, like you set up a way for people to need you, and you know what I'm saying, like you hide your intentions pretty much. Like that sounds like manipulation. That don't sound like a power play. I mean, it is a power play, but
Now,
that sounds
hey,
more like manipulation.
yeah, those two things right there, I agree. Right, I agree with those two things right there. But there are other things as well. I mean, mastering the art of timing isn't about a negative thing. That's just this is how you amplify your influence. Mhm.
So COVID, what was that?
COVID was manipulation,
Fraud.
fraud. Right, that's a crime. That was a fucking
All
crime.
right, so if somebody go to the doctor and the doctor say you got cancer and you got this amount of time to live, then what is that?
It's a diagnosis, right? Is it a right? It's I mean they would call it a diagnosis, right? Um, but it would be can it would be I think that's a form of manipulation myself, right? Once you tell somebody how long they got to live, right, you're putting them in a state of fear, so that you could now take control over them, right? So it's like, well, you got this much to live unless you do this, right? So yeah,
I think intent is everything as well. Intent.
yeah, I can see that. All right, let me see. What was that? What law was that? Oh, that was law number 35, master the art of timing. Right, it's a lot to go. It's a lot that goes into that, right? So, timing, right, brings together several different laws. Um, let's see. Law number 36: disdain the things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. By acknowledging a petty problem, you give it existence and credibility. The more attention you pay an enemy, the stronger you make him, and a small mistake is often made worse and more visible when you try to fix it. It is sometimes best to leave things alone. If there is something you want but cannot have, show contempt for it. The less interest you reveal, the more superior you seem. Um, so I'm gonna tell y'all the place where I see this the most. Um, so one, the civil rights movement. Um, was is the first thing that comes to mind, right? Motherfuckers boycotting and doing sit-ins and shit. These people don't want you in their fucking building in their fucking business. Then fuck them, right? We got our own shit. But again, that was a psyop in itself, right? So the civil rights movement was um, organized by the fucking Zionists. But when I see people um, holding it up as if it was something great for black people, that shit kind of grinds my gears a little bit, right? Um, Also, when I see people crying when they're getting treated unfairly at other people's businesses and even by police to a certain degree, right? When I'm watching fight videos and I hear people, "Oh man, you ain't even got to do this," begging and all that dumb shit. You tripping? Man, fuck them. Why would you even acknowledge that shit? That shit it looks weak, right?
Okay, can you explain that? Because I don't know what you mean when you say fight
When you're
videos.
begging somebody to acknowledge your humanity, it's like you need their approval, right? When you're begging someone to behave a certain way to you, that looks weak, right? And so, when I see those videos, like I don't see people proving a point and no shit like that, and especially when I see motherfuckers trying to tell motherfuckers off, like man, fuck them, right? When you acknowledging their existence gives you less power.
They got power over your emotions.
Exactly. You're giving them the power to disrespect you, right?
Okay, so like I'm slow. Can
Mm.
you give a specific example? Like what are you talking about in particular?
Um. Yeah. 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 Let's see, because I see a lot of these dumbass videos. Uh, when some cops are harassing people. I'm trying to think of a specific video, dude. I fucking hold on. I bet you if I go to my Twitter account, I'll see some. Wait, because I see them shits and I scroll right past them. Like I give them no fucking mind because that shit fucking pisses me off. Um, let's see. Hold on. Like I like videos like the Alabama brawl. That's my shit. Ain't no what are we talking about? It's go time. You know what I'm saying? Um, any videos where people are complaining about being discriminated against in a fucking business by the police. Why are you bothering us, man? We just walking down the street. Oh man, you racist. Like all of that dumb shit. Right? Um,
Okay, so
go.
um okay, so most recent one I've seen is Homeboy's in the car and he's videotaping when the cop like busts his window and
Yeah.
drags him out and
Right.
beats his ass. That is the example that you don't like that?
So how did he get there? So I saw that, but again, I don't like looking at that
Wait,
shit. One, I
wait,
don't
wait.
like trauma.
Did y'all see the first part? That was like the middle to the end. The beginning part shows that like he did that shit to himself.
Yeah, I think I've seen that because he had the door open and the dude was
Yes.
asking him to get out. It's like, bro, you got the door open now. Get your ass out. Fuck is you doing? Dude, that's the, yeah, like, man, you got no right to do this, that, and the other. Bro, this motherfucker already showed you he on bullshit. Like, you just trying to make a spectacle now.
I thought the point was that he got scared whenever they started to get like overly aggressive towards him because he realized like he didn't have to necessarily comply with what they were talking about because he wasn't, I guess, in the wrong or whatever.
Hey, bro, so it's up to you how you want this shit to go. If they're fucking getting aggressive, you think you closing the window is gonna make them less aggressive? Like, so that's one of them situations where did you think this all the way through? Do you think you're demonstrating power right now?
It's definitely manipulation, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. And I'm pretty sure people can figure it out. Sometimes, and maybe the book states this, and I don't know if it does, appearing weak, even though you're really strong, is a lot better than appearing strong and being weak. And what I mean by that is if you got the whole world watching you get your ass, excuse me, getting beat up, and everybody sees it, and it looks like they're the aggressor, then you can use that manipulation to your benefit when the case comes. Because they're not going to be thinking about the
Hey, I
context or
agree
how
with
he got.
that. Now,
Yeah.
now again, if you're doing this to get a check, I get it, right? I okay, I get it. You trying to get paid, and so you trying to provoke this nigga to an ass whooping to get paid. I got no problem with that, right? All right, that's what it is. You done thought it through. You kind of figure out this is how it's gonna go. All right. But let's recognize that, yo, yeah, I saw that because I did see that, Marty. I saw the beginning of it when, like, the cop was like, "Yeah, get out. Let me see your registration." He was like, "Well, I got to get out," and he was getting real sassy and shit. I saw that whole shit. Um, mm. So if you did it to get a check to get some clout because you knew you was on live, all right, I got you. I'm with you. I'm with you. So yeah.
So
Mm,
in general, what you're saying is if you're intentional about it, like you doing it for another reason, right? Sort of like the laws we're
right.
talking about,
Yeah.
manipulation,
Right.
intentional manipulation.
Right.
Cool. But if you just being up there sorry and kowtowing or just whatever the reaction may be, that's what
Right. You
is
being
offensive
super
to you.
emotional because somebody treating you unfairly. That shit. Right. So you're not treating me with respect. Like I'm a human being. Shut the fuck up. Why are you begging for some fucking humanity from these fucking people? See that shit all the time. So, like, that's the thing that comes to, like, when I read this shit, that's unfortunately that's the thing that comes to mind most of the time is people begging for some shit. Like, if they not giving it to you, then fuck it. Uh, what the fuck you need it from them for? Get
But
it?
is it always begging? Or is
Yes.
it sometimes like you just sticking up for yourself or just being
That's
like what's
begging.
your problem, dude? Mm.
What can
But
you
what
say
is
to
that
make
gonna
this
do
person
though? Yeah,
right?
if they already treat to what Lil is saying, if they already treating you like that, you think words like, "Hey, bro, you tripping? You're like you doing too much." Or, why you treating me like that's not gonna do nothing, bro? You already see who's in front of you, so like move the fuck on, as long as they ain't harming you physically.
Bruh, we talked about this last week. Win through actions, not through words. That's what that shit in Cincinnati. I'm with that. I saw the video because the white dude had smacked him. He ain't, oh man, you tripping. Nope. It's go time. We here now. Right? That's power. You know what I'm saying? Um, yo, if they don't want to give you something, so even at work, right? You got a job and they don't want to give you a raise. All right, fuck they raise. I'm gonna do something else. Right? Yo, figure out what you can do. Either be leave there or find a way to generate your own money outside them the way you don't need them. Right?
Or you
So,
could utilize the method that Mark's manager utilized and be a what is it? An asset that cannot be avoided. Like I think it goes back to one of the laws where it's like you make it so that they need you. And at
yep.
that point, they have to give it to you. And that's just by being bold.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's a lot of power that comes with not pining over something that you can't have. Right? So you disdain it and then you work to put yourself in a position to get what you want. And then you can have it. That's it. Right? And so when it says disdain the things you cannot have, that's a mental thing. Right? Learn how to fucking, because if it's something that you wanted but you can't get to it or you can't have it right now, you have to mentally make it to where you don't even want that shit. You want to increase your power and put yourself in a position to be able to get what the fuck you want to get. Right? It's a Jedi mind trick right here. All right, law number 37. Um, create compelling spectacles. Striking imagery and grand symbolic gestures create the aura of power. Everyone responds to them. Stage spectacles for those around you. Then, full of arresting visuals and radiant symbols that heighten your presence. Dazzled by appearance, no one will notice what you're really doing. All right. Think of every magician you've ever fucking seen. Every magician you've ever fucking seen. That's what they do. They keep you focused on everything except for what they're doing for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? They keep you distracted and focused on everything but what you're supposed to be looking at in order to create the trick. Um Here we go. Law number 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. If you're going to make a show of going against the times, flaunting your unconventional ideas and unorthodox ways, people will think that you only want attention and that you look down upon them. They will find a way to punish you for making them feel inferior. It is far safer to blend in and nurture the common touch. Share your originality only with tolerant friends and those who you are sure to appreciate your uniqueness.
Now, how does that go with the one where it say don't let them put you in a box?
So it's about timing and what you're doing, right? So even in this, right, you can demonstrate that you're diverse, right, and that you're not a one-trick pony. But in terms of how you think, right, you don't want people to know what you really think about situations, right? You don't want them to know that, yeah, you really ain't on none of the shit that you pretending to be on. You're doing it for a reason. Dude, my favorite example is Ricky Williams. Dude, Ricky Williams,
The running back?
the running back. Dude, Ricky Williams ain't want none of that shit. Ricky Williams didn't like playing football for real, for real. He just wanted the money. Once Ricky got the money, he got the fuck up out the league.
Nigga laying on his back looking at the stars and shit.
Dude, Ricky Williams wanted to smoke weed and look at astrology charts, bro. Ricky Williams is one of us. He wasn't with none of that shit. He did it because he wanted to get the bread. When he got the bread, he exited stage left. And there's a lot of people like that. There's like, yeah, once I put myself in a position to have the resources to do what I want to do, all right, I can stop pretending. Ye was the same way. Dude, when Ye was on, dude, think about Ye on Rockefeller, right? He around Beans and Dame and Cam and all these niggas, all these old New York hood niggas and shit, right? And he pretending to be all of that until he got his own deal, right? And then he became the Ye that you see. You know what I'm saying? Like he pretended to be with all of that fucking hood ghetto shit for years. He kept that shit to himself. And then as he got more and more money and fucking fame, then he just started to become himself. Like, yeah, I don't want to do none of that shit. Fuck all of this. You know what I'm saying?
It's really dangerous though, from the people that do that type of stuff. They lose themselves in the process, and then when they try to return back to themselves, like again, they lose themselves in the process. So I hear this law, but yeah.
So remember, it doesn't say don't, like, it says, yo, when you with your people, you can be yourself. But when you're with everyone else who don't know you or give a fuck about you, you play the role, right? So you're not tricking yourself or even lying to yourself. You know you're playing the role,
When in Rome.
bruh.
So trust nobody, trust somebody, trust nobody.
Hey man, rule number one: don't trust nobody. Rule number two: you gotta trust somebody. Rule number three: don't trust nobody. Yo, 100%.
I
All
thought rule
right.
number one was get the money,
It depends on who you
and
are.
rule number two was don't forget to get the money.
Rule number one, get the money first. Rule number two, don't forget to get the money.
You know what I'm saying? Depends on
Shout
who
out
you
to
are.
shout out to Joseph and Dolph.
All right. Oh yeah. Law 39. We getting there, guys. We almost in the 40s. Number 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Anger and emotion are strategically counterproductive. You must always stay calm and objective. But if you can make your enemies angry while staying calm yourself, you gain a decided advantage. Put your enemies off balance, find the chink in their vanity through which you can rattle them and you hold the strings. All right? So we've seen this several times. This is about being in control. Being in control of yourself. That's the first motherfucker you gotta control is yourself. In order to wield power, the first person you gotta have power over is yourself. In order to do any of the shit we talking about, the first person you must control is yourself. If your anger
Agreed.
if your
But
anger controls you, then anybody that can make you angry controls you. If your emotion controls you, then anybody that controls your emotion controls you.
but being
So that's
nitpicky,
the
like, why do they say fishing? Because I'm not a fisherman, but I damn sure know I'm not trying to stir no goddamn waters to catch the fish. Am I wrong? Is that how fishing works? I thought you put the little worm in there and bait the hook and put it in the water and be real still
if that's the
so that
case,
the
then why
fish
the fuck
won't
do people fish with dynamite? The fuck?
fishes with dynamite. I thought you just throw a big net in the water and just you know find out where the fish at.
Hey, bro. Man, please. Some people fish. You ain't never seen the people throw dynamite in the water, bro?
I've seen cartoons. Does that count? Yosemite Sam
Yeah.
did that with the dynamite.
Nah, dude, I see, dude, people do that shit in real life, nigga. They throw dynamite in the water. That's the thing. But yeah, so nah, it's about make other people unsettled and unhinged and emotional, and watch them tell you what they think. So, like, if you get people mad enough, they'll tell you what they think when they're angry. People like if you get people angry, they'll tell you the truth, right? I always listen to everything everybody says when they're angry because they tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, stir up waters to catch fish. Control your anger and emotions and learn how to manipulate other people's anger and emotions. See? Word manipulate. Um, all right, law number 40. Despise the free lunch. What is offered for free is dangerous. It usually involves either a trick or a hidden obligation. What has worth is worth paying for. By paying your own way, you stay clear of gratitude, guilt, and deceit. It is also often wise to pay full price. There is no cutting corners with excellence. Be lavish with your money and keep it circulating, for generosity is a sign of a magnet for power.
You lost me at full price. I've been agreeing this whole motherfucking book, but you lost me at full price.
Um,
I'll agree with the free, but you lost me at full price.
let me see. It says is often wise. So I'm not saying always, but often wise to pay full price. So it depends on the situation. So if you're going like if you want to look like you're not broke, then trying to negotiate price ain't the best look. If you want people to think that if it behooves you to put on an air of opulence, then trying to get discounts is not what you want to do.
That
It
sound like
just
a
depends on the situation.
that sound like a poor man trying to play rich.
So again, in certain situations, you may need to put on an air of opulence, right?
The crazy thing is, the wealthy people. Well, I don't know. You're right, Lionel. It's situational yet again. But it's like wealthy people be haggling over the itty bittiest stuff. They be cheap, and that's how they stay wealthy. I thought
Hey,
maybe
bro.
maybe not.
So they do, but in certain instances, when it's time to talk money, they don't even haggle over that shit. Though it's like, the price is the price. We're gonna go with it, right? It just depends. It's situational. And if you want somebody to trust you with money, right? People trust people with money, and so if you have to pretend like you got money, then haggling over a few pennies ain't gonna fucking is not giving the image you want, right? So it's this one is situational.
I'm gonna trust that motherfucker that fight for them pennies with my money. I'm just saying. That's me though.
It's situational. All right. Um. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Law number 41. Avoid stepping in a great man's shoes. What happens first always appears to be better and more original than what comes after. If you succeed a great man or have a famous parent, you will have to accomplish double their achievements to outshine them. Do not get lost in their shadow or stuck in the past in a past not of your own making. Establish your own name and identity by changing course. Slay the overbearing father, disparage his legacy, and gain power by shining in your own way. All right. So that's how. Um, so notice how LeBron has been fighting his whole career to get out of Jordan's shadow. Right. Kobe never got out of his shadow. Right. Kobe never got out of Jordan's shadow. Kobe came in with Mike's whole repertoire. Kobe is the second best motherfucker to ever play the fucking game, but he never got out of Mike's shadow, right? Um, and LeBron is struggling, even though LeBron's game is different, right? It's tough, but yeah. So this is just for image sakes, right? Um, if 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 somebody in your if you're coming up under somebody and they have a huge footprint, best to do something different or make your own way type shit. All right. So that's avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Law 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Trouble can often be traced to a single strong individual. True. The stirrer, the arrogant underling, the poisoner of goodwill. All right. So those are three different people. The stirrer, the arrogant underling, the poisoner of goodwill. If you allow such people to operate, others will succumb to their influence. Do not wait for the troubles they cause to multiply. Do not try to negotiate with them. They are irredeemable. Neutralize their influence by isolating or banishing them. Strike the source of the trouble, and the sheep will scatter. All right. And I think that operates in a lot of different ways, right? On a few different levels. Essentially, what you're doing is you're identifying the source of the problem, all right? You're doing root cause analysis, figuring out, all right, where's the problem coming from? Who's the source? All right, and you're gonna And what you do with that information is up to you. But essentially, you want to identify where it's coming from because it's always coming from from like a very like one or two people. Like issues are never coming from a whole fucking group at once. It's always one or two people. Right?
I got pushback for this one. Not necessarily pushback, but nuance to this, right? So, perfect example: Starscream, right? Transformers, Decepticons. Megatron's the leader, right? And Starscream is like the lieutenant that wants Megatron's spot. Now, we all know any day of the week, Megatron could stomp a friggin' hole in Starscream at any given point in the day. But he keeps Starscream around because he deters any other dissenters and he knows how to properly puppeteer Starscream properly so that he can never get up on top of the position. So it's like you can use the unruly usurper in a way to detract any of the sheep or anybody else from thinking they can do the same if you know that person's weakness. You get what I'm saying? There's a little bit of nuance to that.
Yeah. So in this situation, we talking about Starscream. Starscream never spread his vitriol to the other Decepticons. It was just him trying to take the spot. If Starscream had started trying to form in a coup, then Megatron would have took him out. So it was just Starscream. You knew where the issue was coming from. Anything that was happening, you knew it was him. And so, to your point, as long as you know what the issue is and you know how to fucking solve the problem, then you're fine. You got no problems. And so having Starscream there, so like to your point, Starscream ain't gonna let nobody else come and try to do it because he gonna take their ass out. And so he's actually acting as your defender as long as you keep your eye on him.
Facts.
Mhm. All right. Where we at? Okay, here we go. Law number 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Coercion creates a reaction that will eventually work against you. You must seduce others into wanting to move in your direction. A person you have to seduce becomes a person you have seduced becomes your loyal pawn. And the way to seduce others is to operate on their individual psychologies and weaknesses. Soften up the resistance by working on their emotions, playing on what they hold dear and what they fear. Ignore the hearts and minds of others, and they will grow to hate you. All right. So essentially, getting to know the people around you, right? Getting to know what they want, right? And figuring out how to align what you're doing with what they want. Um, Law number 44. Disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. The mirror reflects reality, but it is also the perfect tool for deception. When you mirror your enemies doing exactly as they do, they cannot figure out your strategy. The mirror effect mocks and humiliates them, making them overreact. By holding up a mirror to their psyches, you seduce them with the illusion that you share their values. By holding up a mirror to their actions, you teach them a lesson. Few can resist the power of the mirror effect. Dude, you know what? You know what this law reminds me of? It's a scene in the movie. Y'all know what scene in the movie we talking about? Ethan, you got to know
I
it.
may know it, but I'm
Let's
not.
see.
I'm blank.
Ethan, you should know this. Great Poseidon, you should know this. Where all the old heads at? Do y'all know this movie here? I'm gonna say one word, and you better freaking know it. Val Kilmer.
Wait a minute. We talking about we talking
And
about
this was talking about
not.
some Batman. No fucking Batman. Fuck is you talking
No, I was
about?
going to say the Wyatt Earp movie.
Tombstone.
Tombstone. Yeah.
Tombstone. Remember when they was in the saloon and what's my man
Johnny
name?
Ringo.
Johnny Ringo, right? Johnny Ringo was showing off with the gun and all that shit, and then Doc Holliday pulled out his cup, right, and mirrored the shit he was doing. He humiliated the fuck out of him, right? It's like, all right, yeah, you could do it. Let me show you what you're doing, bro. This is stupid. All right. So when I read this, that's the first thing that came to mind. All right. That's I think a really good kind of visual of it. So this one is good right here. Law number 45. Do we almost there? We only got like 4 laws left, bro. All right. Law number 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. I've mentioned this a bunch.
Obama.
Nah, he wasn't even changed. He was just talk, right? Everyone understands the need for change in the abstract, but on the day-to-day level, people are creatures of habit. This is true. Too much innovation is traumatic and will lead to revolt. If you are new to a position of power or an outsider, try building power. Try building the power base. Make a show of respecting the old way of doing things. If change is necessary, make it feel like gentle improvement of the past. True, 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 true. Right? Preach the need for change. Talk about all the shit that's got to be done. But in reality, you cannot do too much at once. People fucking lose their shit. Right? People lose their fucking shit when you change too much at once. You know what I'm saying? So you can talk about it, talk about the need for it, talk about how it's going to be great, but on a practical level, you do not change a whole lot at once, even if it's for the good. So if you think about the first 6 months of this current administration, a bunch of shit's changing, and most of it, right, 86% of it is really fucking good. But because it's a lot changing at once, like people don't know how to react, right? People are unsettled. Like,
86%.
yeah. So it's down from 94. We're about 86%. Down from 94. I'm at about 86%, which is still really fucking good, right? Um, hey, X, you said people get tired of old messages with no action. True, but people also can't handle a lot changing at once.
If you know that, you can't be talking that shit then trying to put them in motion so they get the action. Again, your words will fall on hollow ears because they seeing you or they listening to you do all this talking, but ain't doing no action, bro.
Um, so now we got to understand the two great tragedies in life, right? So I've told y'all this before. There are two great tragedies in life. The first great tragedy in life is not getting what you asked for. The second great tragedy is getting it. And so people ask for a lot of change, right? But they don't understand that they can't handle a lot of change at once. Like a lot of anxiety comes from that. And so the most effective way to institute change is slow and steady, right? At a pace where people can, it's changing, but it's not too fast where they're losing their shit, they're getting overly anxious, right? And they can kind of adapt to it, right? But you're still changing things um, that need to be changed. I think a good example of this, like in my city, is Chicago construction. Like there's always construction going on, right? A lot of it is needed. All right, a lot of updates are needed, but some things are structural changes, where expressways they don't make any sense, and so they're adding, exits. They're taking away exits. They're doing all these different things, right? But it's always happening, right? It's always happening, but it's not too much at once. Because the time when they redid the entire circle, like the middle of the city, that shit was fucking nerve wracking. But little by little, construction little by little, it works out, right? But it's the same way in any system, in any place. Changing too much at once, um, it causes anxiety. So you can talk about what you're going to do all the time, talk about the change that need to happen all the time, but you can't change too much at once. Even, dude, sometimes you got to save people from themselves. A lot of people claim that they want change fast, but if they got it, they wouldn't, like, they couldn't handle it. All right.
I
So we
guess
just
those
got,
people didn't think it out then, huh?
they didn't. They don't.
I also think that's a problem though. Sometimes you can think too much and paralyze yourself.
That's called paralysis by analysis. Yeah, paralysis by analysis. That's true. All right.
Which is
All
also
right.
kind of brilliant though, if you think about it. Like they send these people on a whole campaign trail and promise this and promise this and promise this, and now when they get in, like they don't do shit. So now it's like, well, when you gonna do something? It's like, well, we actually got the person in. Now you waiting 8 months for them to finally put some in your favor, and it's like, well, yeah, we really wasn't gonna do nothing for you anyway. So it's kind of brilliant how they do these things.
Fuck me.
Or they give you little bits at a time, you know, make you think that something's happening that isn't.
Hmm. So shit. If they give you something, so I mean, there is a such thing as too slow, right? So, there's a pace that works. There's a pace that works.
Works for who?
Um, it works to the point where you're changing the system and people aren't overly anxious to the point where they're unhappy.
I got some creamy shit in my booty.
See? That right there, that guy changed the system, right? The system changed. Um, let's see where we go. Number 47. Oh no, I'm sorry, we're on number 46. Law number 46, never appear too perfect. Appearing better than others is always dangerous. But most dangerous of all is to appear to have no faults or weaknesses at all. Envy creates silent enemies. It is it is smart to occasionally display defects and admit to harmless vices in order to deflect envy and appear more human and approachable. Only gods and dead men and only gods and the dead can seem perfect with impunity. All right.
So how does that align with making things seem too easy?
So that's about the effort you put into getting things done. This is about your character, right? Making it seem like you're just this perfect human being. It's like, nah, nobody likes that, right? And when something comes out, anything comes out about you, now you're devastated. As opposed to, if you're already flawed and people know it and they like you despite of it, then it doesn't matter. Think Trump, bro, right? Nobody thinks that Trump is a perfect human being. Like, he's the anti-politician. So all the things that politicians did to kind of craft their image, he didn't do none of that. He went against all of it, right? His speeches weren't like, they were kind of general, and then he would get on stage and just kind of talk. He had some subjects he wanted to talk about, but he didn't have no perfectly crafted speeches. He would curse, he would crack jokes, some of them off color, right? And now you can't throw shit at him. You can't throw no petty shit at him to make people stop fucking with him because, you kind of knew that already. Yeah, we kind of knew that already, right? You kind of knew he was a wild boy a little bit back in the day, and so saying that doesn't take away from his reputation, as opposed to somebody like Obama, right? Whom even though he tried to not seem too perfect, right? So if you read his book, Dreams from My Father, he talks in there about doing drugs and also other shit, right? So he tried to kind of throw some dirt on himself, right? So that nah, not too perfect. Everybody knows he smokes cigarettes, so he tried that shit too, right? Um, so what you're seeing now is the Democrats though trying to imitate the Trump fucking playbook, right? You see them cursing all over the place and yelling and just being all. So they're doing everything that they didn't do before. I saw Cory Booker going on the tirade on the fucking floor, right? And so they're looking at this thing, which was the political playbook, right? To craft the image. Remember, them dudes didn't even have facial hair. JD Vance, the president of the United States, got a fucking full ass beard and shit. Most politicians don't even have facial hair. You know what I mean? So there's a problem with image if you appear too perfect. Right? It's okay to kind of be human and have vices and minor weaknesses and shit like that. It's a thing. All right, we almost home, y'all. Let me see. Yeah, we almost home. Oh, this shit. Let's see where we at. Number 47. So this kind of goes with uh thinking things through all the way to the end, right? Do not go past the mark you aim for. In victory, learn when to stop. The moment of victory is often the moment of the greatest peril. In the heat of victory, arrogance and overconfidence can push you past the goal you had aimed for. And by going too far, you make more enemies than you defeat. Do not allow success to go to your head. There is no substitute for strategy and careful planning. Set a goal, and when you reach it, stop. Because that's all you plan for.
That's
Set a
individual,
goal,
right?
huh?
That's individual, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's not necessarily individual. That can be anything in any situation. Like when you're planning shit out, you've planned like when if you plan it to the end, you've planned it to get to where you're going to get to. When you get there, stop right there because you haven't accounted for what would happen if you go further or if you take more action.
But the reason why I said it's individual because if it's for a collective goal, then that means the collective have to be understanding of what that goal, and you can't hide the intent of what that goal is. Correct?
God damn it, dude! The fuck, my phone's canceled. All right, my bad. Say it again.
I was saying that sounds like individual, and the reason why I asked or said it's individual because if it's a collective goal, then you have to let the collective know what the goal is, and you can't hide your intent of what that collective goal is, so y'all can all meet that goal. Correct?
Yeah, yeah. Hold on, guys. Oh wow. Okay. So I just got a fucking phone call. All right. So they transferred my mom tonight. Sweet. Um. Hey, hold on 2 seconds. Let me see, dude. God damn it. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Hey, which law are we on?
Hey, hey, I thought you was gonna say something else, bro. Ethan, I was waiting for it.
Nah, bro. Not today, bro.
Go ahead and say it, so I don't have to say it. Go ahead, bro.
No. I'm not gonna say that, man. You got it.
Somebody better say it,
Mm.
cause now I want to know.
Oh, all right. What I missed? Go ahead.
Hey, bro, did you account for that happening during the show or no?
I did. I always think through everything. I always think through everything. All right. Um, Law 48. All right. Law 48. Um, Assume formlessness. By taking a shape, by having a visible plan, you open yourself to attack. Instead of taking a form for your enemies to grasp, keep yourself adaptable and on the move. Accept the fact that nothing is certain and no law is fixed. The best way to protect yourself is to be fluid and formless as water. Never bet on stability or lasting order. Everything changes. That's the most important law to me.
All right, Bruce Lee.
You gotta keep moving your head.
Dude, it's what I say about black, like people be talking about like the black community and shit. Like, oh, we just need to get our own cities. We just need to get our own organization. Like, yo, that's a form. As soon as you form something hard, you give them something to attack, they will attack it. The best way to fight, the best way to move is formless and on code, right? A mental fucking code that everybody knows. You can't attack that, right? And they want black people to create physical structures and organizations, right? Because they can attack it. They have been forever. They've always attacked our organizations. Matter of fact, they give us organizations to attack them. They create our organizations just to attack them.
Wait, don't they make it look like it's ours, bro?
Right. That's what I said. They create our organizations to attack them. All right. So assume formlessness. All right. Always be willing to change. Read the situation as is and adapt to it. If you see that the form you're taking is not the most efficient form, assume another form. Change to something else. Check it to pancakes. All right. Assume formlessness. Right when they think you one thing, and then they try to attack that thing, you turn into something else. Right when they think you one place, and they try to find you in that place, be someplace else.
Bro, did you say changing the pancakes? Did I miss that? Or I'm just
I said,
hungry.
check it to pancakes. You ain't ever seen that? You don't remember that the commercial? It was with Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, and Archie Manning. And they were like grocery shopping and shit. And so like they were all being quarterbacks, grocery shopping and all this shit. And then one scene they were making breakfast, and then they dropped the eggs, and somebody's like, check the pancakes, check the pancakes. You don't remember that shit? That shit was funny as shit.
What the fuck does that even mean?
So they were making eggs, and so they dropped the eggs, so they couldn't make eggs no more. So they called an audible, and
Oh,
they checked it to pancakes, meaning they were gonna make pancakes now. Yeah. So when you can't make eggs, make pancakes. Check it to pancakes. All right. So, but that's like that should be number one. Like the first one and the last one, like are both like they should be next to each other. I get why this is last because it's like, hey, yo, this is the coup de grace. This one right here, you got to know how to do this.
Like bookends.
Exactly. This is non-negotiable, right? You gotta assume formlessness. As soon as they can peg you, as soon as they can touch you, that means they got you. As soon as they can touch you, as soon as they can figure you out or describe you, they got you. Right? So be formless and always be reading the situation and ready to adapt to the situation on the ground. All right. Um. So there you go, man. Those are your 48 laws of power. It took a while, but we got through them. Right. Um. So let me ask y'all, just upon like we done took a bunch of time going through them. We done talked about a lot of them. Uh, what do y'all think is the most important law?
Rule number one: get the money.
That's not one of the laws of power. If you got power, you don't need money.
Don't trust nobody, cause I live by that.
Is
Rule
that
number
right,
two,
Miss J? What you say? Don't hold on. I think that's what. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Law number two. Is that what we talking about?
I don't
don't
know.
forget rule number one. Don't forget the money.
Huh? What you say, Mark?
If I gotta pick a real one, I'm gonna say the box.
You gonna say the who?
Hey,
I couldn't.
that's mine too. The box. Don't let them put you in the box.
Don't let them put you in the box. Facts. I'm with you. Invisible says, "Gotta admit the second half was better than the first half." What's your favorite one, Invisible? What the hell is H? What's the favorite one? What do you think is the most important one? Everybody in the chat. Let me see. Type it in the chat. Let me see what y'all important ones was, or what y'all favorite ones was. All right. There are a lot of them that kind of dovetail into each other, right? And if you observe them, you stay out of you stay out of trouble, right? Or it'd be really hard for somebody to get you in trouble. If you observe them, it's really hard for somebody to get you in trouble. What you say, Quan? Is it 32 through 36 or 32 and 36? Like you just got five fucking
It's
laws.
like 30. It's like 32 through 36. There was a couple of them. I just don't remember all of them off the top of my
Let's
head. It was like
see. Play the people's fantasies is 32. Discover each man's thumb screw is 33. Be royal in your own fashion is 34, and master the art of timing is 35.
yeah, those some pretty good
I
ones.
like stay unpredictable.
What'd you say, Quan?
No, I was saying those are some pretty good ones.
Okay, so all of those. All right, Quan got a whole fucking section.
I like I like
Jamila,
stay unpredictable.
be unpredictable. That's just because you a goddamn Leo, man. You all over the fucking place. All right, good stuff. What you say, Great Poseidon? 5, 16, 12, 19, and 9. God damn. Oh, sorry. Here, what's number
Did
one?
y'all niggas write these down? How the fuck y'all know them by number?
Hey, bro. They probably got the
Because we
book.
remember them.
Or I don't know. Let's see. 5 is so much depends on your reputation, guarded with your life. Okay, I fucks with that one. 16 is use absence to increase respect and honor, my man. 12, um, use
Hey, how does
selective
that
honesty.
align if you use absence to increase respect and honor? But you gotta like stay connected with your peoples.
Um, so you talking about don't build what's it don't build castle or some shit. What is it? Which one is it?
The one
Don't
about the
ice,
fortress.
don't
Don't
ice,
build a
yeah, don't
fortress.
build a fortress, right, right. So the thing is, you can pop out when you pop out, so pop out selectively, right? But when you do, be amongst the people, all right? When you do pop out, be amongst the people. You know what I'm saying? What was 12?
Wait, that still don't mean that you know what's going on though.
Well, you get information from people though.
Okay, if somebody is trying to remain unpredictable, how can you figure out what they got going on if you ain't been around?
Hey, you know what? When I think of that,
Facebook, the motherfuckers put everything on there.
so no, you know who I think was a master of that shit. So of 12, I mean of the using using absence to increase respect and honor, and not isolating yourself. You know who's a master of that shit? Prince,
Dang,
right?
I said that. Yeah, Prince.
Yeah,
Def-
Prince was a master of that shit, right? So Prince, like, he wasn't everywhere. Like, Prince shows up selectively to certain places depending on what the fuck he feels like doing, right? But it's you hear all these stories about people's interactions with him, right? You hear all this great shit that people like that they did with him. Like Jimmy Fallon tell a story about how Prince took this nigga to a ping pong club to play ping pong, talk like beat his ass and then walked out. Like niggas talk about going to Prince's house and this nigga riding around on a was he on like a bicycle or some shit? Like he was the master of that shit.
Well,
Like
technically, that's not popping out. That's bringing people to you.
oh again, he would pop out at concerts. Dude, he would show up at people's concerts and play and sing and shit. Like he would be special guest in random places that you never thought this nigga was showing up. Right? Like he was the master of that shit. Yeah, for free. He wouldn't. He would just be like, "Yo, I'm gonna come." He would show up and then nigga just get busy. Like you ever seen It's the Tom Petty version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Right. So these motherfuckers they was on a show, like they was on a TV show, and they was doing the Beatles song While My Guitar Gently Weeps, right? It was Tom Petty and it was a bunch of motherfuckers with Tom Petty, right? And then the breakdown came, and all of a sudden you heard this guitar gets busy, like zing, and then this motherfucker slowly starts walking out the back playing the guitar solo, right? This motherfucker comes out. This is Prince. He comes out like this red bolo hat and like this trench coat, right? He gets busy on the fucking song, right? At the end, like he kills the shit. Then at the end of that shit, this motherfucker took the guitar off, threw it in the fucking air, and walked off. He don't know what the fuck happened to the guitar. Somebody else must have caught that shit. He literally took the shit off, threw that bitch in the air, and then walked away.
That's because
Like
they
that shit
tried.
was dope,
That's
huh?
because they tried to hold him. Like he was supposed to be on that shit, right? But they tried to give him like a minuscule ass part, right? And during rehearsal and shit, nigga wasn't, he wasn't tripping on it and shit, right? So when he's like, basically he did some Prince shit, like I got something for that. Then he came out and did that.
yeah,
Bruh.
it was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame like induction or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yup.
Cause
Nah,
if you
nah.
look at them
So
niggas, they don't even know what the fuck going on. Cause like he basically just took the song and he was like, y'all motherfuckers gonna sit there and strum them goddamn guitars until I get done.
until I get fucking done. So so Prince is the master of that shit. Like he will pop out in random places, do random shit, be who he wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he will withdraw and just go do his thing. Like that was his thing. He was dope at that shit.
Hey, I'll say that one also is he didn't let them put him in that box.
He ain't let you put him in a fucking box. He did what the fuck he wanted to do. Um Yeah, man. And what you say, Greg Poseidon? I think your last one was 9. That was went through actions, not through arguments. Good shit. Let's see who else got some. What you say? X46 is the one you resonate with the most on. Which one is 46? Go down here. Um, Oh, never appear too perfect. Hmm. Let's see. Who else got some? Oh no, number 29, invisible. Let me see what you got. 29. Oh, plan. Oh, plan all the way to the end, my nigga. Yeah, 100%. Plan all the way to the end. Um. So I think in terms of perspective, right? It's a lot to it. Like I said, it's not some shit where you hear it one time or you read it one time, and then you got it, and you're just like, all right, cool, I got it, I read it, that's it. This is not how that shit goes, right? With these, you gotta fucking practice them. You gotta learn how to put them in play. You gotta learn how to recognize them, right? If you ain't got the book, you should get the book. The book is a good read, right? Takes a little minute, but it's a good read.
If
And just by virtue of you guys having sat and listened to these, you'll be more mindful. Like, I guarantee. Let me ask y'all this: since last week, have you guys spotted any of the ones we talked about last week? Like, if last week was your first time hearing it, had you guys spotted any of the ones that we talked about, like in your daily life? No,
Yeah, people conceal their intentions all the time.
that's true,
Hey, real quick
right?
before I lose signal, if you a man, don't let your lady see you with this book. She gonna call you a narcissist.
That's facts. These are facts. Quan, you said you saw some, bro. So, like, you'll start to see them, right? Especially if you like if it's something you're practicing or trying to understand, right? You're going to start to see it. You're going to start to recognize it in situations and in people, right? And then sometimes you're going to start to recognize it in the shit that you do. And one day you're going to have the choice in some behavior, and you're going to choose to do the thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to happen. Watch. But the more you, like I said, the more you learn them, the more you'll recognize them. You'll see shit. Um, it's it's interesting to watch. I'll say that it's an interesting, and it makes for interesting observation of the world when you can see things kind of unfolding and you kind of know where it's going. You're like, oh, okay, I see what this is. All right. So it makes an interesting watch. You know what I mean, um,
How does these laws work or fit inside of the codified behavior that you used to talk about?
so um, being on code. Well, we're talking about how do you get power for Black people? Like as a group, how do Black people empower themselves, right? And so we're talking about how do you gather power? This is a book about power, and we're talking about as a group, how do you wield power? If look at so when Rhonda was here last week, she was like, this sounds like Jewish behavior because this is what the fuck they do, right? They do all of this shit, all of it. Like they're teaching you how to behave as a group in a powerful manner, right? Kanye was like, I don't hate Jewish people. I'm jealous of them because they do the things that we should be doing, like as a group. And so this codifies, or it gives kind of, it's the ABCs of, this is group dynamics. These are group
They
dynamics,
they do the things
right?
we should be doing, but that 0% interest rate is nice. I'd like that.
100%. So there are things that we do as a people, right? Yeah, there are things that we do as a people that, hey, well, we do okay, but then there are things that we do that are in clear violation, and we suffer for it. For example, law number 20: do not commit to anyone. 90% of black people vote for who? Without knowing any policies about anything, who do 90% of the black people vote for?
Democratic Party.
The Democratic Party. We committed to the fucking Democrats. Why? Instead of making these motherfuckers earn our fucking support, and instead of us getting things in return, instead of trading it for actual fucking tangibles, right? We just commit to them. Violation. And what happens? What, because we fucking committed to them and we don't ask for anything in respect, we get no power. We don't get anything. They treat us like shit. Like, these are things like, as a group, we gotta fucking do better. And so my hope is that, yo, as individuals, if the individuals in the group can learn how to do it, then maybe the behavior will translate to the group overall. Right? So that goes number 8. Right? Make other people come to you, use bait if necessary. Right? Make these people come to us and offer us things. Right? They don't even have to offer us shit. All right, what was the one we just talked about? Stir up fish to catch waters. Yo, they do that on us all the time. Right? Oh, they don't vote for them because they're racist. They hate black people. And so they get black people to move with emotion. They stir our emotions all the time. That's how they manipulate us. All the time. So when it comes to kind of codified behavior, yo, they're moving on code against us. So we got to learn how to we got to learn how to, one, use it as a shield, and then we can start using it as a sword. Right? Law number 42: strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. How many fucking leaders in the black community have they fucking struck down? J. Edgar Hoover said his number one goal was to prevent the rise of a black messiah. What is that? Striking the shepherd so the sheep stay scattered. Like, everything about this shit are things that we don't realize that are happening to us, and we wonder why this shit is happening. We wonder why things are happening because we don't embody and embrace fucking power. We don't know how to fucking gather it, how to keep it.
Well, I mean, with that example though, he basically told you what his intentions were. And I feel like too many people try to hide their intentions, and that's why as a collective things don't move. But again, according to your example, he told you what he didn't want.
Yeah, to prevent the rise of a black messiah, but again, black people don't hear it. Don't nobody know that shit. Ask black people what J. Edgar Hoover's goal was with black people. Nobody know it. Nobody fucking know it. So as a group, we gotta recognize it, and we don't. We gotta be smarter. We don't we're in violation of most of these fucking laws.
I mean, they ain't our shits. That's why I'm trying to figure out, listening to you talk just now. None of this is our shit. So how are we violating some shit that ain't ours?
Hey, power is our shit. Like, power is the game. Like, this is the game. Everybody's in the game. Like, there's no opting out of it. You're in it. Whether you're an active participant or a passive victim, you're in it.
And
But
whether
that's part of the reason we fucked up right now. Like, y'all got it.
whether you know the
No,
rules
I just
or not.
go ahead, Ramona.
Hell no, Mark. Tell him about that shit. I feel like I know where you going. Tell him that shit.
It was a woman speaking. Who was that?
Me,
Miss
I
Ramona.
was just I was just saying whether you know the rules or not, you're still in the game.
I'm
Yeah.
stuck on this whole like conceal your intentions only from this standpoint. Like when I think of shows like Lovecraft, that's what Tick was doing. Tick wasn't trying to tell Letty what he was doing. He was trying to do all that on his own until he realized like, yeah, I'm gonna need some help. I actually have to tell my peoples what I'm doing so they can help me. Now, don't get me wrong. I know the ending was the ending and things of that nature, but when I see how as a collective or just a people that we messed up, we don't know how to be transparent with people to receive the help that we need. And I feel like that's what really be causing the issues because you don't feel like you can trust anybody. And when I think of that, I just feel like we don't know how to rest as a people because we always guard it. Like I know you talking about the sword and stuff like that, but it's like, in my opinion, sometimes it feel like we be cutting our own hands and feet off by ourselves, not realizing like, yo, you ain't have to go that route. So I understand that a lot of people feel like they have to conceal their intentions, but when I think about a team and a unit, you got to let people know what's going on so they know how to move this thing, or else you're gonna be on a rowboat and y'all gonna be paddling against each other, going nowhere. So that's my thoughts on that.
All right, good shit.
That's because
Um,
all of this is for a system that wasn't built for us by us.
so this isn't for a system. Like this shit has been going on way before this country was built, bro. Like motherfuckers have been wielding power even back when fucking black people ruled the world. Like this is not new. The book just gathered all the life lessons and put it in the form where people understand it. But this ain't no new shit. None of this is new. None of it. So if you look at if you read the book, um, like they talk about all of these, they talk about scenarios that happened back in like king's courts and shit like that, because this shit was fucking like it was happening. It's how people moved. And so this is just an accumulation of knowledge in a book. This has nothing to do with a specific system. This is just life. That's it.
It's, it's built off of three other books. Like this shit is a system.
What other books, bro?
I named them last week.
The Prince.
One is the Way of the Samurai. There's another one with a Japanese general, and I can't remember the third one. But it's all they're all like I get what you're saying, right? To say that this book is built off of kings and queens, but the people who influenced these books were like fucking Ronins and army generals and shit like that. A lot of them were in situations where they were having to use things to the art of war. The other one. They were
Mm.
using things to outsmart other people in a combat situation or a situation where you had to use dexterity and your mind. You couldn't. It wasn't necessarily people in history from courts writing this shit. Like these things, like a lot of this shit is based off of warrior ass niggas, bro.
So warriors, but also people in politics. So like I said in the book, I forget this dude's name. It's a lot of stories about this one dude who was like a courtier in the king's court. And he was really good um at just at navigating the politics of being in the court. Right? He wasn't a fucking he wasn't a warrior. He was somebody navigating. So think of like Game of Thrones, right? So think of somebody like Varys, Littlefinger, Tyrion, those type motherfuckers who are in a court where they're not the most powerful people, right? And so they have to use their wits and strategy in order to get things done. It was that kind of thing, right? So this is accumulated knowledge just in one place, right? There's accumulated knowledge just in one place. Um. All right. Let me see. What time is that? Yeah, it's time to get up out of here. So yeah, man. This has been the 48 laws of power, man. We got through all 48 in a at a relatively decent pace. I wasn't mad at it. Um. I like doing book reviews, so I'm gonna see which book review we're gonna do next. Then we'll do another one in the what?
I'm just glad to hear that somebody else likes reading books too.
Yeah, I like doing the reviews though. Um, Afro Joe's on the South Side. You know what? I've seen Afro Joe's. Where's Afro Joe's at? Let me see. I've seen Afro Joe's. Afro Joe's. Um, yeah, I've seen Afro Joe's. I've never been there before, but I've seen it though on 99th Street. Yeah, it's on 99th Street. Wow, what you know about Afro Joe's support? Well, you know people that run it or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't drink coffee. Hopefully they got other stuff. Maybe I'll go check it out. Um, you said, doesn't a book review require reading a book? Oh, shit. Yeah, it definitely does.
No, the hell it don't. Spark notes, cliff notes.
Hey, yo.
You
All right.
can't spark notes, cliff notes life, bro. You gotta read all the
Yeah, the hell you can.
pages.
Check Gabrielle Patrice Tarver.
Uh, hey, Too Real said, don't forget to drop the list. I got you, cuz. Um, all right. So we went through a lot. Let me see. Um, Yeah, let me give y'all some positivity, man. Here y'all go. I think this is in line with the 48 Laws of Power.
If I order medium rare steak at a restaurant and they bring me well done chicken, I just eat it.
So do I.
Who gives a shit?
So do I. I'm the same way.
Like, somebody cuts me off in traffic and then flips me off. I'm like, wow, they need bigger problems.
Yes.
Traffic is bugging you that much, you'll never be successful. So know that. If you're annoyed because a friend doesn't ask you to go to the mall, or someone cut you off in traffic, or you think a friend offended you, or you think a coworker's being a little rude, then you're screwed because you're worrying about the wrong things. Spend that energy on solving big problems and you accomplish big things.
This is massively valuable for people to hear.
Hey, man, don't sweat small shit.
Nigga, that's not small. You asked for steak and they brought you dry chicken. That's not fucking small.
In the grand scheme of things, it is Martavian.
Bullshit.
But then again, if that's the case, what's really a big or small problem in the grand scheme of things? Like now we getting into the nuts and bolts of stuff. Like,
World
come on,
peace.
that's to who?
World peace, bro.
You
Solving
know,
homeless, curing
man,
cancer,
I'm gonna talk
all
to
that
this
shit.
about this later, bro. You got it.
All right, so so Friday we back here for Conspiracy Cookout with the 10-4 family. We'll catch up on news and current events and some conspiracy shit. All right. Other than that, I'm gonna see y'all. Blackisauniform.com and vigor4pain.com.
Thanks for coming to the cookout, but you need the right gear. Blackisauniform.com, you can get it right here. We talk flat earth and mud floods. You might hear about the dome. No matter the topic, you just need something with the shield on. Blackisauniform.com, where conspiracy analysts are at home. Blackisauniform.com, where conspiracy analysts are at home.
Vigor Sport is love and light in a bottle, a CBD infused salve that rids the body of pain, arthritis, carpal tunnel, and muscle aches. There's no job too great for Vigor Sport. Headaches, muscle spasms, and menstrual cramps are a thing of the past. Vigor Sport is the Swiss Army knife of your medicine cabinet. Order your jar today at vigorforpain.com.